All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Korash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Stone. Shalom to the elect pushing this word in truth and in sincerity, with the hope of receiving mercy of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai is the name of His only begotten Son. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites according to the prophecies that are written in the Scriptures. So I want to make it known that the RFID microchip is the mark of the beast, which is going to be a new identity in this new world order. The miracle drug is the precursor to the mark of the beast, which is the system being implemented right around the world, which is part of that image read about in Revelation 13. And Yahushua, whom the world ignorantly called Jesus, is about to make his return upon the earth in dramatic fashion. And just for the record, he's a so-called black man. So I want to jump straight into this lesson dealing with a kingdom divided. Because right now, as I see it, Esau kingdom is divided, yo. As is written in Daniel, the 2nd chapter. And you have a lot of Babylon the Great allies. And America is Mr. Babylon the Great. And a lot of his allies, those that are in NATO, you see me? EU countries. So EU countries like France, I look on America some type of way. Even what they are, France and Australia have some deal for some military submarines, and Esau go behind. It's not just Esau, America go behind them back, you know, and sell Australia some nuclear capable submarines, yo. So what do you think Australia do? Go towards the one with the nuclear capability. So that deal where France they have with Russia, none and void. So France I look on US some type of way. Right now Turkey I look on US some type of way because Turkey go buy the S-400s from Russia. US supposed to in some deal with them due to these NATO arrangements for send them 35 the F-35 them, the fighter jets them, and I'll know. And this is what Turkey have to say about these things.
Turkey is demanding that the U.S. repay the country for a fighter jet deal that was never completed, or that Washington at least hand over some goods to make up for that botched deal. RT's Alex Mihailovich has the story.
It was a $1.4 billion investment in American-assembled, state-of-the-art F-35 fighter jets. But the deal that the U.S. made with Turkey never went through.
We cannot take what we should with our money, but they provide weapons to the terrorist organizations. We have made the payment worth $1.4 billion for the F-35s.
In 2019, Turkey was booted from an F-35 stealth fighter program because it purchased Russian S-400 air defense systems. Donald Trump, who was president at the time, disagreed with the decision.
It's a very tough situation that they're in, and it's a very tough situation that we've been placed in, the United States. With all of that being said, we're working through it, we'll see what happens, but it's not really fair.
Turkey ordered the Lockheed Martin manufactured fighters prior to its expulsion from the program. Ankara also said that the move was unfair, as, along with other countries, its defense industry continues to develop and manufacture some of the F-35's key components. Since the U.S. never delivered the order of jets, Ankara now wants its money back, or at least some hardware. Earlier this month, Turkish President Recep Erdogan said that Washington has come up with an alternative to the F-35s. According to Erdogan, the U.S. has offered Ankara a package of 40 new F-16 aircrafts and nearly 80 modernization kits for its existing fleet of F-16 fighters in exchange for the payments. Ankara seems to be more concerned about fair play than American planes. The Turkish foreign minister told CNN that his country could easily purchase Russian-made Su-35 or Su-57 fighters if the U.S. doesn't want to cooperate. And although Turkey has made it clear that it will be purchasing more S-400 missile defense systems from Russia, this week, the Pentagon said that Ankara and D.C. will continue to hold talks to resolve the F-35 issue. For In Question, I'm Alex.
Alright, so this is Matthew 12, Verse 25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts, and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And right now we're witnessing Satan cast out Satan, because Satan just means adversaries, and these are two countries ruled by Edomites, which are the adversaries of the nation of Israel. So you can see this kingdom divided, And you know it not gonna stand, because we're in the time in which Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is about to do some wonders in the earth, So let's continue listening.
Mihailovich.
And look at that. We were right. What
So
an
lucky
easy
for that,
profit in just 1 minute. Hey there. I've got some value.
And for international perspective, let's bring in former UK MP George Galloway. So, George, is this a case simply of buyer beware? Perhaps the DoD has a clause in the 35 contract that says all sales final. Where does Turkey go from here?
This is part of a long, slow divorce between Turkey and the United States, Turkey and NATO. Like Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, they kiss and make up from time to time, might even get remarried from time to time. But the trajectory is only going in one direction, and that is down and down and down. Personally, I'd prefer the substitution of F-16s and modernization kits to the F-35, which is a walking disaster. I'd say a flying disaster, but it doesn't do much flying. So the truth is, both are seeing other people. The United States...
This is Daniel 2, verse 40. The fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. And wheresoever thou sawest the feet and the toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. And this is what you're witnessing now. Even over there, when you see the whole thing over there in Europe with Brexit, where you see England want to left the EU, are supposed to leave the EU by now. This is the kingdom being divided, So let's continue. But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with merry clay, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. Because as I know, in the EU you have strong, which we have consider England to be one of the strong, them and them depart from the EU. You see me? You have consider Germany to be one of the strong, and you have the weaker states round about, like the Spain, so on and so forth. So let's continue. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with merry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. And this is the kingdom I see being built right now, because the Lord said the kingdom of heaven is within us, These little sanctuaries are seen pop up right around the world, prophesying against this society, as Jeremiah have said, the prophets that have been before thee and before they have all prophesied against many countries and great kingdoms of war, evil, and of pestilence. This is what's being done now on a level in which Esau get scared, Scripture said great fear fell upon them that saw them, yo. And Esau see us because the things that we are declare are the things that Esau want to implement, yo. And Esau in himself want to know how we know these things, yo. This was given unto us by Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, yo. As it is written in Amos. So I want to read back over 44 one more time. And in the days of these kings shall God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, a kingdom, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and subdue all these kingdoms, and it shall stand. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it brake in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great God had made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure. So this is what's coming on, and this is what the inhabitants of the earth are going to witness. That's why it is written in 2 Ezra 15 verse 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Because we're not going to witness these things, yo. We're not going to witness the fall of America. We're not going to witness the setting up of the kingdom of Israel, which is the kingdom of heaven. We're not going to witness these things, yo. So right now we're not see biblical prophecy. I'm not going to see more of these as the days go by, because the Lord are going to put the spirit upon the 10 head where they upon the beast to burn it, man. To burn the war. And the war is America, man. Mystery Babylon. It's not a mystery anymore. So this was edifying, just showing the division in the earth right now. We don't want to say Kalalal, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakah Kodash, Shalom.